The battle over the Keystone Pipeline continues to rage in Washington, where both Democrats and Republicans put forth opposing measures on this controversial pipeline. Both of these were just voted down a short while ago in the Senate. Now, one section of the pipeline that's not in question is the Oklahoma portion, by redefining it as a project independent of Keystone and therefore freeing it from State Department control. That part moving forward. Here to weigh in is the governor of Oklahoma, Fallin. Governor, great to have you with us again. I want to get you to comment on what's going on in Washington today, because once again, the Senate rehashing this pipeline, talking about it again. And what caught my eye is the president himself lobbying members of the Senate, Democratic members of the Senate, not to push forward this pipeline. What do you make of that?
Well, it's very disappointing that the president is lobbying against the Keystone Pipeline. I will say we're thrilled that the Oklahoma portion from Cushing, Oklahoma down to the Gulf of Mexico looks like it is a go. In fact, I had the opportunity to talk to the president a week ago on Monday about the Keystone Pipeline and completing that portion of it. But it's disappointing that we can't get the full Keystone Pipeline done throughout the United States and all work together to create American jobs, to create revenue back into the United States, to reduce our debt, our deficit, and reduce our dependency on foreign oil.
Well, Governor, what is this pipeline, the part that's going to be built in your state, what's it going to mean to the state in terms of dollars and cents, and what is the president's opposition based on?
Well, to Oklahoma, what it means is there's going to be about 1,200 temporary and permanent jobs that will be created by the Keystone Pipeline. Also about $1 billion going into our economy, huge revenue for the state of Oklahoma. In fact, right now, there's a price differential between the marketplaces on oil and the marketplace, and we're losing revenue as a state until we can get that glut of oil that's collecting in Cushing, Oklahoma, down to the refineries on the Gulf Coast. That'll help not only our royalty owners, our landowners in our state, our mineral owners, but certainly the state of Oklahoma with their revenues. And if you look at Oklahoma's economy and our energy industry, we have the third fastest job creation growth in the nation right now. Our revenues are double-digit revenue growth in our state, one of the lowest unemployment rates. And that's what could be happening around the rest of the nation if we could get the Keystone Pipeline built, of course, on down from Canada down throughout the United States.
Well, that's really well put. And let me tell you, we talked to a lot of governors on this show. Very few of them are as happy as you are. The president has talked, though, about how Republicans, particularly GOP candidates for the presidency, are too short-sighted in their views on what could happen to gas prices in this country. I want to get you to respond to something he said yesterday about $2 a gallon gas.
The next time you hear some politician trotting out some three-point plan for $2 gas, you let them know we know better. Tell them we're tired of hearing phony election year promises that never come about.
Governor, what do you say to that?
I say the American people know better. They know that we're sending billions of dollars over to the Middle East buying their foreign oil instead of creating the revenue back into our nation, instead of creating American jobs. That puts us at national security risk, economic risk, and especially when you look at what's going on in the Middle East and Iran, around Israel. I mean, these are scary times for our world. And so I don't think the American people are dumb. You know, we know if we create American-made energy here in the United States, we're going to create American-made jobs. It's going to be better for security for our nation, and it's going to be good for our states. And, you know, there are a lot of states that have revenue shortfalls.
Well, Governor, though, one of the amendments today, and this came from the Democrats, was that the oil from the pipeline should be sold here. It should all stay here, be sold to Americans because of the very issues you just raised, that we're so dependent on foreign oil. What do you say to that?
Well, we certainly want to produce American-made energy, and it would be nice if we could keep it here in the United States, because I hope that it would help lower the price of gasoline. The high cost of gasoline, you know, is a serious problem for our economy. It's a serious problem for our economic recovery. And so, you know, certainly we need to have that debate on the national level in Washington, D.C.
Well, speaking of debates in Washington, D.C., Harry Reid weighed in today on the efforts to get the pipeline passed in Washington. Here's what he said.
The president has not come out saying, I oppose Keystone. He opposes it doing it in the manner that's being jammed down our throats.
Come on, right? I mean, the president has been against this program from the get-go, right?
Well, you got to wonder, I mean, if getting the economy back on track, reducing our unemployment numbers, helping once again to reduce our deficit in our nation, I mean, a natural thing would be the Keystone Pipeline, because once again, it's going to create jobs, it's going to create revenue back into our state's economies, and it is so important if we're going to get this deficit down like he talks about, you know, talking about higher taxes, talking about more regulatory uncertainty, talking about not approving the Keystone Pipeline certainly doesn't help our national economy.
Well, I want to bring something up to you. I said at the top of the show before you came on, we were talking about an eagle in California that's being killed by windmills. Windmills, of course, supported by federal tax dollars because they get tax credits. Have you had to face down the environmental lobby in Oklahoma over this pipeline and over oil development?
We haven't had that many issues with the environmental groups in Oklahoma over the Keystone Pipeline. Of course, you probably know Oklahoma is a very strong energy state. It brings in about a third of our revenues that are coming to our state. We're experiencing double-digit revenue growth right now. We have around 300,000 jobs in our state that are related to the energy sector, and so, you know, we're benefiting from the energy sector, and we just believe in American-made energy, and we think it's important to us. And even the wind industry is very strong in Oklahoma. We're one of the top states in the nation for wind. Of course, we got a lot of wind in Oklahoma too, but all in all, we're seeing a lot of investment even from wind in our state.
All right. Well, Governor Fallin, thanks for coming on tonight. We really appreciate your help and your insights. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.